Hey, this is Left Technical, and in this video I'm going to talk about getting started with programming. First question you want to ask is, what do you want to accomplish with programming? What do you want to write? Some more questions is programming going to be a career or hobby or both? After that, it's going to raise another question, and that question is going to be, what programming language do you want to write in? And what platform do you want to write for? Just some suggestions. If you're writing like intense data management applications and web-based apps and services, definitely go with or try out C#. Java's got a strong, refined graphics library, and it's got this cool HTML-friendly applet that'll allow you to distribute web apps really easily and embed them in HTML pages. C++ is a generic programming language. It's a highly valued skill to know C++. It's got low-level facilitations, and it's very powerful. So if you don't know what you're doing and you just want to delve into programming, but you don't want to waste your time with stuff that you don't need to know, definitely go with C++, because learning C++ will always be beneficial. It's like a language that's other languages have stemmed from. Like a lot of common languages, a lot of other languages will carry similar syntax and whatnot. There's ActionScript. It's not quite a programming language, but it's strong for programming lightweight 2D games and advertisements, and also general website interactivity. F# is for solving complex problems, operate on large sums of data. If that's what you wish to do, definitely write in F#. Visual Basic, I spent like a good 3 months writing in this. After those 3 months, the limitations of the language became all too clear, and I just dumped it. It will also scar you for life. So if you're unsure about this language, stay away from it. You also need to take heed that some of these languages require runtime environments for the apps compiled in this language to run. So C#, Java, F#, VB, they all require runtime environments for those specific apps to be compiled and run on another computer or your own computer. Java, if you're writing an applet, it requires a runtime environment and a plugin to run. The good thing about F# and C# is that its runtime environment is pretty much always on the Windows XP. Windows XP is distributed with the .NET Framework runtime environment nowadays, or the Common Language runtime environment, whatever you want to call it. ActionScript, I don't know if that requires a runtime environment. Definitely plugins to interpret these scripts, or for them to be displayed on a web browser. Okay, so if you've acquired the language that you want to learn, get at least 2 books on that language. I suggest Sam's Teach Yourself in 21 Hours. There's lots of Sam's Teach Yourself books, and you'll probably find one on your language. I think it's more of a Microsoft-based thing. I'm not so sure, but I've got a big Sam's Teach Yourself C++ book, and it's great. I also have a Microsoft C# programming book. It's gigantic, and that's good too. I have another C++ book and a CSS book. It's good to have books around because you don't have to be around your computer to be learning about these languages, and it's a lot easier on the eyes and the brain. You definitely want to learn the majority of the language by not looking up on web resources. You want to do it by coding and reading a book. So you can have a book in front of you and you could be coding at the same time if you want to. If you're a multitasker. I usually read parts of a book and then go into programming and write with the stuff that I have learned so I do not forget it. Okay, so after that you want to find online sources. So make sure that you have a nice online source. You can look up programming paradigms or whatever and learn about them and not worry about what's in the book. If you don't know what you're reading in the book and you need to learn about it elsewhere, then you can find it online. Find someone to talk about programming with, preferably face to face or through vocal communication of some sort. If you have a problem, it's good to have someone to answer or help you with that problem. I use Visual C# General Forums, which is a Microsoft forum. I can post a question there and it will be answered within like 3 minutes by a Microsoft MVP. It's also a good thing to remember that programming is not like riding a bicycle. You cannot just go for it and expect the right things to happen. If you decide to overlook foundation skills and general programming practices, you will come to a point where you can no longer progress. Also, writing larger projects will be a disaster. So, take your time to learn practices, conventions, and methodologies that can apply to any language. This information is pretty invaluable. Every program you write, simple or not, should be planned out on paper, at the start at least. Some people say that you shouldn't program smaller programs, because it's counterproductive. You can just write it out in code, but that will give you pretty bad habits. You don't want to get into a habit of not planning a program. When you learn the foundation skills to make you a functional programmer, but you still want to learn, find the most basic thing you don't know and learn that. It will most likely be something very important. That sums it up for my beginning programming video. See you next video. Till then, happy programming.